everybody, Livingston here. We're about to jump into Miracle on 34th Street, the 1947 classic starring Maureen O'Hara and a young Natalie Wood. Gonna be fun to jump into this one because this is the first time I'm actually watching the original movie. I did see the remake, the 1994 classic, which I guess they're both classics now at the time because that's almost 30 years old. Kind of crazy to look back on it because I did watch that in theaters when I was like 9 years old at the time. Now, Miracle on 34th Street is about an elderly gentleman named Kris Kringle who creates a stir when he's hired as a Macy's in-store Santa Claus for the holiday season. Maureen O'Hara, John Payne. They don't really have credits like they used to back in the day. Today, it's just like maybe the title and we get right into it. We hardly have credits anymore. Paper mache. Don't look at me.
You're making a mistake with the reindeer.
I can hear you.
Open the door.
It's very demanding.
You've got Cupid where Blitzen should be.
How do you know what reindeer is what reindeer when it's just paper mache reindeer? Christmas music. I guess they are doing the parade.
You're on float number 3. You're on the program float.
Oh, there's Maureen O'Hara. Yeah, I guess it is basically the same thing. I do remember in the new one, Santa Claus was drunk. That's why the real one took over.
Don't you realize there are thousands of children lining the streets? Children who've been dreaming of this moment for weeks?
Yes, I never dreamed of seeing Santa Claus. I don't think I did. I mean, I remember being a kid and I was excited when I got there, but I really didn't dwell on the anticipation.
Your Santa Claus is intoxicated.
Oh, no!
Yes, it's disgraceful. How can you allow a man to get...
How could you? She didn't know.
Cold, a man's gotta do something to keep warm.
Oh.
Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle...
Jeez. What will she do now?
Could you be Santa Claus? Have you had any experience?
No.
Oh, please.
No,
Oh, look at the children.
All right, I'll do it.
Oh, good. Thank you.
I think in the newer version, he had his own suit. He brought it with him. Santa!
Mrs. Walker!
Dear Lord. I guess they filmed this at the actual parade. I'm sure they were like, hey, let's just use the actual parade and just say, hey, the Santa Claus is going to be the one from the Miracle on 34th Street movie. Coming out next Christmas.
Looks like they're having a little trouble with the baseball player.
Yeah, it's definitely rear projection. It's not bad, though. It's pretty decent rear projection, probably because of the quality that you have of the cameras of the time. I think I even said this during King Kong reaction, where the black and white and the graininess actually helps with the quality of rear projection. It just matches, and it actually fits. Yeah, I'm going to say it's rear projection. They just did a really good job matching it up.
I read someplace that the surest way to meet the mother is to be kind to the child.
It did indeed.
You remember the way the janitor was last New Year's?
Oh, yes.
Guess that's the end of the parade. Everyone's running around the streets now.
That's the end. The acrobats were good.
They ought to be at those prices.
Always liked Maureen O'Hara and John Wayne movies. Quiet Man, very good movie. Also McClintock. It's a good movie from the 60s. I think it's 60s.
Couldn't we invite Mr. Gailey? Couldn't we? Please,
I don't want you
Mother,
to feel
please.
Well,
Did I ask all right?
Did I ask him?
Dinner's at 3.
Susie, honey, you asked just right.
And you'll find toys of all kinds at base.
They love him. 7th Ave, West 34th Street.
Gee, that sure is an elegant costume.
Yes, I've had it for years.
Oh, he does use his own costume, but I thought he used it right at the parade.
You enjoy impersonating me?
Oh, yeah. When I give packages to little kids, I like to watch their faces get that Christmas look all of a sudden. It makes me feel kind of good and important.
This is true. But I don't think I want to play the role until I actually have a long beard and filled out a little bit. It's like you gotta earn it. Earn it with life experience.
Now, you'll find that a great many children will be undecided as to what they want for Christmas. You immediately suggest one of these items.
Corporate greed. Oh, bueno.
Throw 'em on the floor. Kind of tired just sweeping up dust.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Alfred.
I love my trash. Santa Claus. You know, for years I thought I had an E because of the movie The Santa Claus with Tim Allen, because it was a different clause. I didn't know it. Not at the time, anyways.
You'll get your fire engine.
Oh, thank you very much.
Fine, that's just dandy. Listen, you wait over there. Mama wants to thank Santa Claus, too. Macy, sending people to the store. Are you kidding me? Only I didn't know Macy's did.
Well, as long as I'm here, they do.
I don't get it.
What's the catch? Customer service. That's what people like. You please the customer, they'll come back. Even if you send them to other stores.
Two, but they're not quite good enough. You go to Gimbel's. They'll have exactly what you're looking for.
What? How dare he?
I want to congratulate you and Macy's on this wonderful new stunt you're pulling.
What?
From now on, I'm going to be a regular Macy customer. All right, dear.
Gotta think of the long term.
There are 6 more women out there who want to thank you. Well, personally, I think it's a wonderful idea, too.
The point is, will Mr. Macy think so?
If it brings customers back, why not? I remember the first time I decided not to go sit on Santa's lap and tell him what I wanted for Christmas because I knew and kind of realized that he wasn't real anymore. And it was a little sad. It was like a transition. After that, I was okay. At some point, it becomes weird when a teenager wants to sit on his lap and go, I want a PlayStation.
I'll say you're the best looking one I've ever seen.
Really?
I don't know. What's the cutoff age? At what age should you not sit on Santa's lap? Let me know. Comment below. I'm going to say you need to be in the single digits. Once you get into the double digits, it's probably a good time to be like, hey, stop it. It's starting to get weird.
He's a nice old man, Mother.
It's like Bugs Bunny in the background. I wonder if that's supposed to be Bugs.
I tell her Santa Claus is a myth, and you bring her down here, and she sees hundreds of gullible children. This sets up a very harmful mental conflict within her. What is she going to think? Whom is she going to believe?
Let the kid use her imagination.
Well, young lady, and what's your name?
I'm sorry she doesn't speak English. She's Dutch. She just came over.
Oh, he knows Dutch.
Well, I didn't know what to do.
Hallo, ik ben blij dat je gekomen bent.
Oh, Ben Santa Claus.
Ben Santa Claus.
Neeks.
If only all Santa Clauses could do that.
Heeft wat in mijn schoentje, dank je Sinterklaas.
Wasn't that nice?
I want you to tell her the truth. What's your name?
Kris Kringle, I'll bet you're in the first grade.
Second. Here at Macy's, we get 10% off.
Oh, we get discount.
What's the name of your teacher?
Mrs. Haney.
Mrs. Haney.
Mrs. Haley.
Thank you.
What else do you do besides read?
North Pole. Evidently his reindeer are related to him. Well, they leave it long enough for you to read.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, young lady. Hope to see you again.
So where do they send his check? Or does he just pick it up on his way out?
I'm sorry, Mr.
Kringle?
I'm sorry, but we're going to have to make a change.
Change?
I think you're kook.
Yes.
But in the face of this tremendous response on the part of the public, I can't be angry with you.
Oh. Just shut up. What happened?
The store with a heart. The store that places public service ahead of profits. And consequently, will make more profits than ever before.
The plan comes together. Profit from kindness. It works.
In your Christmas envelopes, you'll find a more practical expression of my gratitude.
Cool. I just fired the guy who started this.
I fired him.
Who?
Santa Claus.
What?
He's crazy. He thinks he is Santa Claus.
Why?
Who cares? Keep him on to the end of the month and let him go.
But maybe he's only a little crazy, like painters or some of those men in Washington. We can't be sure until he's been examined.
Some?
But first, get that Santa Claus back. The examination won't be worth a thing without the patient.
This is true.
Oh, Christmas isn't just a day. It's a frame of mind.
True that.
If I can win you over, there's still hope. But I'm warning you, I don't give up easily.
The actual test of the movie. Can he make people believe? Pretty simple.
Yes, he'll just give you a little examination.
Why don't you just get your reindeer and fly over New York? You'll get a lot of people believing.
Oh, I don't mind. I've taken dozens of them. How many fingers do you see? 4. No damage to the nervous system. Who was the vice president under John Quincy Adams?
Some people know that.
Daniel D. Tompkins, and I'll bet your Mr. Sawyer doesn't know that.
Is he right? I'll have to look it up.
Would you get me the Brooks Memorial Home in Great Neck? I want to talk to the doctor in charge.
He's just an old man who believes he's Santa.
How many days in the week?
7.
Who was the first president of the United States?
George Washington.
Do you get enough sleep?
Why? Personal habits are of no concern to you.
You're asking me of mine. Why not?
3. Oh, you bite your nails, too.
Examination's over. You may go.
Thank you.
You may go out that way.
Bye.
Get me Mrs. Walker.
And your wife's on 672. She says it's very important.
She's got a nervous tick, too.
He failed to pass the examination.
He didn't answer the questions correctly? Oh, well, yes, he did. But there was complete lack of concentration. He kept changing the subject. He was even questioning me.
Now, why not just be a guy named Kris Kringle? What's wrong with spreading joy?
So when he exhibits his latent maniacal tendencies, which I assure you he will, please realize the responsibility is completely yours.
Okay, thanks, asshole.
I feel perfectly confident.
But if anything happens, you won't get blamed. I will.
If you say you'll take the blame, then sure, let's do it.
Well, you'll probably want to discuss this with Mr. Shellhammer, so I'll be on my way.
Shellhammer? Hell of a name. I bet there's a few people out there named Kris Kringle.
Do you think he'd agree to that?
I'll talk to him. I'm sure he will.
Yeah, that was a fast elevator.
What kind of an animal are you? And I said, I'm not an animal. I'm a girl. He said, only animals allowed here. Goodbye. So he came upstairs.
Of course, in order to play it, you've got to have an imagination.
Do you not have one?
Now, you've heard of the French nation, the British nation. Well, this is the imagination.
Ooh, interesting way of describing it.
Or drive a great big bus right down Fifth Avenue. How would you like to be the Statue of Liberty in the morning and in the afternoon fly south with a flock of geese?
Sounds fun.
You tell him you're a monkey.
But I don't know how to be a monkey.
It's easy.
What's going on here?
We're just having our first lesson in pretending.
It doesn't really sound like a monkey. It sounds like somebody drowning in a tub.
What you think?
It's a little tie.
It's a Mr. Shellhammer.
Shellhammer.
That's very sweet of them. Please thank them very much. But I'm going to stay with Mr. Gailey.
What?
Mr. Gailey.
I think I'd better get to meet.
But there must be something you want for Christmas. Something you haven't even told your mother about, eh? Why don't you give me a chance?
Well,
Ask for something huge. Isn't it a house? Doesn't she ask for a new house for her mother or something like that?
that's what I want for Christmas.
A house.
I want a backyard with a great big tree to put a swing on, and
Oh.
I guess you can't get it, huh?
You didn't say that. May I keep this picture?
Seems like a sweet old man to me. Saves her gum. How am I gonna do this?
You know, I think you're right about Mrs. Walker.
Smoking a cigarette just before bed. Of course, back then people smoked all the time, it seems.
I'm going to find the answer to a question that's puzzled the world for centuries.
What's that?
Does Santa Claus sleep with his whiskers outside or in?
Always sleep with them out.
Guess that's how they got the advertisements out. Now it's just a board they change by computer.
$2.98. Looks like an exceptional bargain.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Not at all. Not at all.
What a nice store. What's Gimbel's gonna do?
And why didn't one of you think of this idea? It's the greatest goodwill policy I ever heard of. New York City suddenly thinks of Macy as a benevolent soul.
It's the best place to shop.
Hold it, Mr. Gimbel.
Hey,
Now we'll take some at my store.
Just a minute.
we're all friendly, are we?
This is just a little something to show my appreciation.
Money?
That's a bit of money. What are you going to do with it?
I'm gonna buy a house.
I have a friend, a doctor. He's been very kind to me. He needs an x-ray machine.
Buy it through the store and get 10% discount.
I can get it for cost.
Thank God for that. It's always nice to know somebody.
Doesn't your mother ever sing to you at night?
Why should she?
I just think it's kind of nice. Do you like market?
All right.
To market, to buy a fat pig. Home again, jiggity. Amazing.
A bubble?
Do you happen to have a spare piece?
Don't get it in the beard.
Well, here goes.
Yep.
I don't feel like it.
Oh, what's the matter?
Nothing.
Something's wrong, son. Spill the beans.
Remember I was telling you how I like to play Santa Claus over at the Y on Christmas? Well, I was telling that to Mr. Sawyer, see? And, well, he says that's very bad.
It doesn't seem to me that you've had time to be guilty of anything much except overeating.
What are you saying, I'm fat?
You mean you're going to him again?
Oh, sure, I go every day for a little while after I finish my lunch. Hey, he don't soak me nothing. He's doing it for free 'cause I'm an interesting case.
How so?
What else has he found wrong with you, Alfred?
Oh, just that I hate my father. I didn't know it, but he says I do.
Uh-oh.
You won't listen to reason? You're heartless? You have no humanity?
Are you going to leave?
Jeez.
But the moment I mentioned Santa Claus, the moment I attacked his delusion, he became violent.
That's a pretty good makeup job for a bump on the head.
You better get him out of the store on some other pretext. Then, once outside, I'll explain it to him.
I hate sniveling little guys like him. That's not good.
The second party shall, in consideration of the property hereby...
Gotta get the law involved.
Yes, in view of his examination, I'm afraid I shall have to recommend commitment.
I'll be right over, Doctor.
Psychiatric doctors. Sometimes I wonder if they put people in these facilities for the money, not because of their mental capacity of being out of it.
She didn't know anything about that taking pictures with the mayor. That was Sawyer's idea.
Well, I'm glad of that.
You were lied to.
You can't quit. You can't let them down.
Never give up, never surrender.
I said Calvin Coolidge was the first president. I can imagine what they're thinking of me for saying that.
The second, Kris, you're putting me in an awful spot.
But I believe in you. You can't let me down.
Can't let Santa down.
That's a lot of nonsense. Dangerous, my foot. Now, you get the case dropped tomorrow, or you might have another lump to match the one that Kris gave you.
Yeah, do your job.
The man calls himself Kris Kringle. Thinks he's Santa Claus.
So?
Of course, you may sign the commitment papers now if you wish, Your Honor, but I shall bring in habeas corpus this afternoon.
I have a hearing on Monday morning at 10 o'clock.
Haha, not cut and dry.
As a matter of fact, Mr. Macy would rather drop the whole thing right now.
Well, it can't be done. It's too late now.
Uh-oh, you're screwed.
Now, regarding this Kringle matter, we're very anxious to avoid publicity of any kind.
You know, if I'm going to win this case, I'm going to have public opinion and plenty of it. Publicity's just the way to do it.
You're welcome. Just keep digging that hole. He's not going to have an eyebrow. Kris Kringle crazy? Court case coming. Calamity, cry, kitties, all with K's.
Why don't you go and see the doc? Take a few weeks off. Because this Kringle case is dynamite.
Dynamite.
Good night, Terry.
Good night.
Good night, Alice.
Good night.
Now, how about a great big kiss for Grandpa?
No. Put Santa in a hospital.
Hey.
It's not lit. I can suck on this tobacco.
All persons having business with the special term, Part 3 of the Supreme Court.
It's already starting in the favor of Kris. Judge is like, my grandkids are going to hate me if I put this guy away.
Cause before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
He's doing like a Spock thing back there.
You don't have to answer any questions against your wishes or even testify at all.
Oh, I'll be glad to answer any question that I can.
That's not good for you.
Where do you live?
That's what this hearing will decide.
He's funny.
You believe that you're Santa Claus?
Of course.
State rests, Your Honor.
Is that it? You should have asked some more questions.
Oh, I understood the question perfectly, Your Honor.
Great. You're putting me in a bad position, man. See, all it would take was just 8 reindeer in his sleigh to prove it. That fly. I mean, come on. But, nope. Let's just keep doing it the hard way.
They have an old established law firm, and either I drop this impossible case immediately, or they will drop me.
But if you win, you go down in the books as a legend.
You give up your job, you throw away all your security, and then you expect me to be happy about it.
Jeez.
Someday you're going to find out that your way of facing this realistic world just doesn't work.
He's standing up for what he believes in. What's wrong with that?
Kringle has been declared a menace to society by competent doctors, and it's my duty to protect the state of New York and see that he's put away.
Sucks that that's the way it is. Even though he's innocent, you feel like he's not some burden on society. You gotta put him away because it's the state that you're trying to protect. Shouldn't be that way.
Mr. Macy, you're under oath. Do you really believe that this man is Santa Claus?
I do.
Hey, Mr. Macy's behind him.
Psychologist. Where'd you graduate from? A correspondence school? You're fired.
What?
The court will take a short recess to consider the matter.
Okay.
Will Thomas Mara please take the stand?
Who?
Who, me?
Thomas Mara, Jr.
What? He got subpoenaed. Didn't even know it.
Hello, Daddy.
Do you believe in Santa Claus, Tommy?
Sure I do.
Heck yeah.
What does he look like?
Like him.
There he is, sitting there.
Your Honor, I protest.
Very old.
Why are you so sure there's a Santa Claus?
Because my daddy told me so.
Yeah, I did.
My daddy wouldn't tell me anything that wasn't so. Would you, Dad?
Let's go to Santa Claus in court.
Hey, Lou, how many Santa Claus letters we got down at the dead letter office?
I don't know. There must be about 50,000 of them.
It'd be kind of nice to get rid of them, wouldn't it, huh?
Yet these letters have just now been delivered to Mr. Kringle by bona fide employees of the post office.
Letters, Your Honor, are hardly positive proof.
Oh, there's more.
Put them here on my desk.
All right, you asked for it. Way more letters than I anticipated.
Government recognizes this man, Kris Kringle, to be the one and only Santa Claus.
You make a valid point.
This court will not dispute it. Case dismissed.
Hooray! It went their way. Yeah, they did do something different in this movie compared to the remake. In the remake, it was, I think the mail did help with certain things in the remake, but then it wasn't all the proof they needed. So they put In God We Trust on the $1 bill, which most people believe in God. And being that people believe in something that you can't prove exists, therefore, how can you prove that Santa Claus doesn't exist based on that example? I thought it was a good argument.
I'd like to have you and Susan.
Oh, thank you. I can't think of anyone I'd rather spend Christmas with. Would you like to come to dinner tonight?
Tonight? I can't. It's Christmas Eve.
I gotta fly.
Merry Christmas, Albert.
Wow, I shook a rich man's hand. An x-ray machine.
Chris, all I can say is the state Supreme Court declared you to be Santa Claus, and personally and professionally, I agree with them.
He makes dreams come true.
Something about a present.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry, Susie. I tried my best, but...
You couldn't get it because you're not Santa Claus, that's why.
No.
Just a nice old man with whiskers, like my mother said. And I shouldn't have believed you.
Jeez.
You mean it's like, if at first you don't succeed,
Try
again.
again. Yep, pretty much.
I believe. It's silly, but I believe.
Thanks.
Oh, dear Lord.
Stop, Uncle Fred, stop! Susie!
The house! Mother, it's the house I wanted.
Where are you going? To see if there's a swing!
There is. Hell yeah. Got that kiss. It's his cane. It ended a little differently compared to the other one. I mean, it was still in the house. Well, Miracle on 34th Street, that was it. I actually enjoyed it. It was a very good Christmas movie, very feel-good Christmas movie. I actually liked the remake better because the story was a little more intricate in the way of him getting out of the court case. There was more of a build-up, I believe, in the remake than there was in this one. Also, when they showed up at the house at the very end, I remember it being all decorated and everything was furnished and everything looked beautiful on the inside, and it was actually literally for them, and you kind of got that interpretation that it was for them. This one is like we pulled up on it, it was the same house, and it was vacant. There was nothing beautiful about it on the inside other than the fact that it was bare bones and for sale. This one, I believe it was like, this is the house. This is the house we're going to get. So I thought those changes were better in the remake than I did in this one. You know, the way he was found out to be Santa Claus was because of the mail in the original one, but in the remake, it was the mail on top of proving that we believe in God we trust on the $1 bill when it comes to government. And they didn't have that in this movie, which I thought they were going to do, but for some reason they didn't do it. Hey, but that's fine. I actually like the addition in the remake, and that works well, I believe. But anyways, I thought this was a good movie. It's not my favorite of the Christmas films when it comes to classic Christmas movies. I think It's a Wonderful Life still tops that list of classic Christmas films on top of like White Christmas or Holiday Inn. I think Holiday Inn was just a bunch of different holidays, but there was a Christmas holiday rendition in that as well. But I mean, when it comes to just Christmas movies in general, I love Nightmare Before Christmas, hence the hat that I have on. I thought it's a really cool claymation. If you've never seen it, it's an awesome stop motion. But I also like A Muppet's Christmas Carol. I think that's a very good classic that a lot of people overlook when it comes to the Scrooge story. But I grew up with the remake more so than I grew up with this one, because this is the first time I actually ever seen the original Miracle on 34th Street. But I know I can see why it's in the pantheon of great Christmas movies, and I can see why they remade it in general, because they typically don't remake bad movies, which I think they should. I think the movies that were bad should be made again, and maybe a second chance given to it. But hey, anyways, let me know, comment below, where does Miracle on 34th Street rank among your Christmas movies? Let me know, comment below.